Another episode of Do What You Love is on. I'm your host, Jeff Kirkshin, and thank you so much for episode 2 of season 2. So if you're new to the podcast, welcome. We appreciate you being here. You can subscribe, you can follow, you can like, you can rate, all the good stuff, no matter where you're watching, or if you're watching on YouTube, that's cool too. We really appreciate you. Our guest today is one of those guests I slid into her DMs, right? And this is always a crapshoot when you slide into a guest DMs. Sometimes I know my guests for years. Some of them just happen to look at a message in their Instagram inbox. So that is one of these guests. However, I think she does an incredible job. And a lot of people want to be Bree Steck. They want to be an influencer. They want to be able to have a niche market that they capitalize on and do it through social media. But a lot of people don't realize how tough that lifestyle is, how much work goes in to being the best in the business. And I think she's just that. She covers all thing bachelorette in Las Vegas. I love her account. You got to meet her right now. Bree Steck is on with us. Hi, Bree. How are you?
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Well,
Appreciate it.
thank you for all that you do. You are at Vegas Girls Night Out, and don't ask me why I found this account, because as a Vegas guy, I even get great information and great suggestions from you, and you are part of a network of some really incredible creators here in Las Vegas, but I think you've really cornered a market when it comes to the ladies coming to town for bachelorette parties and all that good stuff. Tell us, Bree, take us all the way back. Day one, you're like, you know what? I'm going to do this. I love being able to create content. I'm going to do this. Take us back to day one.
So content creation is second. That's like my number 2. My number 1 is the overall business, which is Vegas Girls Night Out, and the website vegasgirlsnightout.com. So way back when, I was a publicist. So I grew up in Vegas. I've lived here my entire life. I went to high school here. I went to college here. I took a class in hotel entertainment, and it changed my life. Like, I was 22 years old and I was like, this is what I want to do. I love everything about it. So an internship turned into a career, and I worked for different agencies. But you know how it goes, when you're working for other people and you're like, like, I wish I could just do it my way. Like, I have so many ideas. And luckily I had the opportunity to kind of go and do my own thing. And so I started out small and just created these really small packages for girls, and it was mainly for bachelorette parties. And so I started creating packages with Thunder from Down Under. So we had like 2 packages when it started out. It was a pole dancing class that I started. So you could go pole dancing, and then you could go to Thunder from Down Under and like some nightclubs. And like, that was basically it. And then this was even, maybe I had a Instagram at that point, but it was, when Instagram was kind of like first starting, it was, the new thing still. So I didn't really know how to do it. And then a few years after that, I started Vegas Girls Night Out, because people kept asking, what we want other things to do. We don't just want to do like 1 or 2 packages. We want more, we want more, we want more. And I'm like, okay, let me figure this out. I'm sure, as you know, Vegas is all about who you know. So you either slide into someone's DMs or you pick up the phone, you cold call them, or a friend of somebody that knows somebody, and it all connects. So growing up here, you always know somebody. So I started reaching out to all these people that I know. Oh, so-and-so now runs all the promotions for Tao Group, and so-and-so's running all these restaurants. And hey, here's my business. Here's what I'm doing. Let's put some stuff together, and I'll just start sending girls your way. And of course I, negotiate, and I get prices, and I get special menus and special deals at all these different places. And then it evolved into, okay, social media is how you're going to promote this. Like, Instagram became, part of the influencers, and these influencers, they're making all this money by promoting other people's products, where I'm like, well, let me promote my own product. So, so that's kind of, how it started to happen and kind of where we are today with, over the last, I don't know, almost 10 years now.
Wow. See, I
Yeah.
feel like you're one of those rare creators that started on the business end
Hmm.
and went to social media, where we find so many creators who maybe have great content and then they think, okay, how can I monetize this? Like, how can I take what I'm creating? And quite frankly, I mean, listen, we all got to live somehow, so we all got to make money, and content creation is a full-time job for a lot of people, but sometimes they get so crazy with the content creation and they go up front, they get tens of thousands of followers, and they say, well, crap, I'm making nothing besides brand deals here and discounts. How can I make this a business? So for you to start on the business end, I think that's really cool, because 10 years ago, nobody was thinking that this could be a business in the sense of you just working on your own, working for yourself. And I think that's so commendable for you to kind of trailblaze your way through this industry like that. That's pretty cool.
Thank you. Yeah. And as you know, Instagram is not easy to grow on. It's a very hard platform to grow. And when I finally decided that, okay, this is how I'm going to really start marketing, because prior to that, it was, paying for Google and Google AdWords, and it was doing it the traditional way, kind of. I wasn't doing print ads, but it was, Google marketing and all that. And so I said, listen, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, social media is free. It's just my time. It's just my time. And part of my business is going out and experiencing things and bringing on new partnerships, because I'm not going to sell something that I don't like. So if I'm there anyway and I need to go and experience it, why not get the content? And I also want people to see how fun it is, at the same time. Like, if you know that I'm having fun, then you can imagine yourself having just as much fun too.
Well, what's the first thing we all do when you're going to buy something on Amazon, when you're going to listen to a new podcast? You go and look at the reviews, right?
Mhm.
You make sure, okay, is this deal really as good as they say? But to see it in action, to be able to understand it, and well, I think that makes all the difference when
Yeah.
it comes to buying something, especially when maybe it's your first time in Las Vegas. It's an experience, and God knows, you know better than anybody, there's a billion things with a B to do. And you can't do Vegas in a weekend. You can't do Vegas in a week. Man, I've lived here 4 years and I feel like I haven't done Vegas yet.
It's
There's
never ending.
it's exhausting. And here you are, you do it all the time, yet there's always something that's happening even throughout a pandemic. So here you are, you start this brand 10 years ago, and it's getting people deals, and now did you ever imagine it growing into the monster, in the best way possible of that word, that it is today? Did you ever imagine that?
No, it's so unbelievable. Well, yes, I did. Of course.
She's a go-getter,
On
folks.
a
Okay,
dating
of course she
board.
thought so.
No, but it's crazy because, when the pandemic hit, everything shut down. And so I didn't have anything to do. I mean, there's no parties to plan, there's nothing to do. And that's when TikTok really started to launch, was during that time frame. And that's when I had been growing my Instagram, but I wasn't taking it as seriously because I was so busy with the business side of it. But when the pandemic hit, I that's all I could really focus on, because there was nothing else to worry about. I couldn't do anything else. So I got on TikTok and I figured out how to use TikTok for my business. And I realized, oh, this is the fastest growing social media platform. Let me jump on that. Let me figure this out. And I am so niche that it's harder to get those followers, because I'm not showing something that's for everyone. I'm showing it for a specific audience. But it's been really fun to grow that account, and then to see how it also helps with my Instagram followers. But my Instagram followers and my TikTok followers are completely different. It's really interesting. Yeah.
So, what do those numbers look like? I see over 14,000 Instagram followers. What are you sitting at on TikTok these days?
I think TikTok's a little over 50,000, maybe
And
52.
a lot of people see that. I've talked to a lot of creators on this podcast because, on Do What You Love, we do like such a wide variety of different guests. I mean, I've had Me personally, I love self-starters. So anybody who's really working for themselves, I love to get them in front, because that's what this podcast is. Like, this is literally my home office. That's a webcam. I designed everything around here besides my logo. Shout out to my sister. But like, I started this and I create it, I edit it, I put it out there, I push it on social media. So I want to honor those that are doing the same, but on a bigger, more beautiful level, like yourself. And so TikTok blows up. Pandemic, I saw, the creation and my following. I mean, listen, I've been in radio for 8 years professionally, and I've never seen the numbers I got on TikTok in just really 6 months of creating.
Yeah. No, it's amazing. How many do you have a lot of followers?
I think I'm at 55,000 right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
And it's just, it takes time, but the hardest part I've noticed, and I've fallen off the wagon on this one, is keeping that following and growing that following. Like, man, I haven't posted a video in a couple months maybe, because I've just been hitting a wall creative wise, and work has been busy, and the podcast has been taking up my time, which is all important stuff. But for you, these social medias, this is the business. This is what drives people to your website to book.
Yeah, it's crazy because it's just this beast that I must have on my back. And so it does get absolutely exhausting. And I'm a mom and I have 2 kids, and so it's like, it's so much. But I know I just, sometimes I'm like, what did I do? Because you can stop, but you can't really stop. You know what I mean? Like you got to keep going. Now they're saying, oh, post 3 times a day, 3 times a day. I'm lucky if I can do it like once a day. That's pushing it. But no, it's crazy. And like you said, constantly trying to think of the content, because it is hard to get out there. I have to be doing something often to be able to have the content. And then if I'm not out there doing something, then I have to find a way to promote it or to talk about something in a different way. But all things lead back to my website. So that comes first. And it's crazy because I have I call them party planners. They're my sales agents. They're the party planners. So I don't answer the calls really anymore unless we have to and we're so overwhelmed. But for the most part, I have a staff that is answering calls. They're helping plan the parties. They're answering all the questions and doing all of that. And so one of my girls, she goes, "Did you go viral?" And I go, "Yeah, it's like one of the videos is like 250,000." And she goes, "Oh yeah, I can tell, because there's so many calls and text messages and emails and form fills and all these things." And I'm like, wow. I know, it's crazy. You see the correlation.
So Bree, you have a staff now. That is like the ultimate goal of somebody who's creating their own business, is being able to find time to continue to create and expand. And I think that just like, kudos to you. That is so sick, so cool. Like, we just met and I'm proud of you. Like that, I think that's so special that you're able to do that. Born and bred in Las Vegas. We're talking to Bree Steck. She's Vegas Girls Night Out. You got to check them out to book with them. Now, Bree, take us through, in the history, 10 years, right? What has been like one of the crazier, we're talking crazy Vegas packages? Like, I want to know, like your most fun one, your craziest one, your best deal. What do you think?
Well, I don't know if it's the best. It probably is the best deal. They got a good deal. Actually, I'm just thinking of one of the more recent packages. So we'll get a lot of people I make pre-made packages. So basically what I do is I'll find things that are really, really fun to do that I know all these groups are going to like to do, and they just purchase these packages. So like we have like 15 different pre-made packages that you can choose from, and your weekend is done, and here you go. And then you can customize it and switch things out and do whatever you want. But I also do one-on-one planning. So this is kind of like VVIP. So it's for those groups that like, listen, I don't really have a budget. I do, but I don't really have a budget. And I love that. because it's so fun. So recently I had a husband contact me because he was planning his wife's 40th birthday in Vegas, and they were coming down with like 10 other couples. So there's like 22 of them. And so they're, 40, late 30s, early 40s, everybody. So they're well established in their life and their career. So they want to do Vegas right. So I didn't even ask him the budget. I just kind of like kept throwing things out as if it were I was doing my own birthday party. What would I want to do? So I let's see, they were all staying at Win and Encore. And I work with a luxury travel advisor. So she booked all of their rooms. Her name's Addie, Jet Set and Travel. She'd be a great interview too. She's great. So her Jet Set and Travel, and she only books like luxury hotel rooms. And so she was able to get them an early check-in because they were flying in that day. So they checked in. So we were able to get the room fully decorated in balloons, happy 40th birthday. So they walked in, they could see that. Then they were having, party buses. Everywhere they went, they had a party bus to take them with alcohol. So much fun. They did dinner at Mayfair Supper Club for 22 people. You should have seen the custom cake that we got made for her. So it looked like a Birkin, like the Birkin, Hermes Birkin bag,
Yeah.
which is a very fancy bag if you don't
Right.
know.
I can't afford the bag or the cake.
We got him an incredible deal on the cake. Bellagio wanted to charge $700, and I think I worked with Showboy Bakery, who I know before he was a baker because he used to be a performer in shows, and he made this purse bag, and it was like a couple $100. It was in comparison to the Bellagio. It was gorgeous. I have pictures of it on my Instagram. So anyway, they went to Mayfair Supper Club. They had like the party bus, a table at XS. And then at XS, because I worked so closely with them, put her, like Happy Birthday Vanessa up on like the screens and everything. If you're not from Vegas, that's not normal. Maybe people that live here, they're like, oh, my friend did the same thing. But like for people that don't live here, that's not every day.
Well, Bree, I have to add that like you're a package person. You're not just a one trick pony. So okay, yeah, maybe somebody who's local listening to the podcast right now is like, yeah, I've had my name up there. But if you also had all of your party buses stocked with alcohol, picking you up, dropping you off, balloons, custom cake, like we're talking the whole picture. So yeah, maybe you had your name on the excess board, great for you, but you didn't have the whole package that Bree is putting together for you.
Yeah, and this was two nights, so yeah, they went all out. They did excess, they went crazy, and then the next night they went to Super Frico. It had just opened, and I'm like, hey, there's this new restaurant in town. It's really cool. I went and had dinner there. Like, it's a different experience, and so they got to do that and chandelier bar and like they just spa reservations. I mean, they went all out. They had such a good time.
Bree, that is so special because you made a lifetime memory and it's under your business's name and under your company and under the work you and your team put together. I think that's so special. For you, Bree, when was the turning point that companies, I'm sure at the beginning it was a lot of hustling on your end. Hey guys, I'm part of this new, can you give me something to add to this package? Now, at what year mark, we're talking 10 years here of this great business you've created, at what year mark did it kind of turn the corner and people started reaching out to you? Saying, Bree, hey, what can we do for you? Or are we still not there? And how can we make that happen?
No, what's interesting is like, yes, throughout the years, there's been certain restaurants or companies that reach out and they're kind of mid-level. And I'm like, those are really fun. Those are really great. But yes, of course, I'd love to bring you on board because I have a lot of like girls that don't want to spend a ton of money. It's kind of like that middle America that works for. But now I'm most recently starting to see some of these bigger brands reach out to me, like the really cool hip places that before maybe they wouldn't want to work with me, because they think that they can get all these girls in on their own. But now they're like, oh, that's so easy. I just can work with her and she's going to send me girls, like, hundreds of girls every weekend, whether it's a restaurant or nightclubs. The nightclubs, I've been working closely with them for a lot of years, but there's a lot of value there when I'm sending you like a few hundred girls every weekend. Um,
Right.
so
I
yeah,
still remember the good old days of me just trying to find girls to walk into the clubs with me. I should have just known Bree back during my single days. Life would be a lot different. They're like,
yeah,
it's you two, and it was me and my buddy, and we're like, yeah, but we know Jeremy's brother who used to work security here. It's like, what?
I know. It's so funny. I mean, yep,
So,
girls.
Bree, it's Vegas Girls Night Out, right?
Mhm.
And but as a guy, are are we exclusively to women here? Or are there packages I can take advantage of?
Primarily women.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's a better market, and women plan all the stuff for us
Guys,
anyway.
yeah. But we do have a lot of co-ed packages, so
Cool.
guys and girls. So on our website, when you look under packages, you'll see co-ed and nightlife, and that's everything that we can do for a co-ed group. But then again, if it's a bachelor party or an all guy group and they're just at loss because they don't know what to do, that's where the one-on-one planning comes in, and we really help them and like hold their hand throughout the entire process. And like, I'm not really going to have strip clubs on my website because I'm primarily for women, but I know where guys like to go. I've got the whole setup. I worked with Top Golf in the past, so I know what guys like to do, and so we can plan the entire thing for them. Even they don't have to get a package.
Got you. And I love that you said hold our hands throughout it, because God knows that, like, I've planned bachelor parties. My buddy is planning my bachelor party now. Unfortunately, Bree, sorry, we're not doing it in Las Vegas. Going that I live here, we thought we would. We're going to the mountains. We're doing the very laid back thing. But
Yeah.
I do think that there are guys out there, you got to check out the packages, because when it comes to Top Golf, but do the one-on-one with Bree, because that sounds like an absolutely genius idea. And you kind of look like a legend to the groom if you've got a ladies touch on this, because God knows us guys, like, even like down to the little things of not thinking about, oh well, you want to go to this sports book or you want to go to this pool, well, let me see if I can get his name on there. Like, every guy like would love that, but that like is something us men we don't think about.
Yeah.
We don't think about that opportunity. Now, Bree, best kept secret in Las Vegas, something that you've booked for people and they're like, I had no idea, or even, you're a local, I live here, you're born and raised here. Is there something you're like, I can't believe more people don't know that you can do XYZ? What would you say it is? Sorry, I'm putting you on the spot here, my
No,
friend.
I'm thinking there's so many fun things. Um, I'm thinking right now
You know
because
what? I'll just tell you, and I need you to fill in the blank. I think it's Off the Record in Park MGM.
oh, on the record.
On the record. On the
Oh,
record. See, that's one of those clubs that I think is like
yes.
that half club vibe,
Yeah.
where, like, if you're like me, I'm not like a big dunce, dunce, dunce club guy. So
Yes.
anytime someone's like me and they say we need a club to go to, I recommend that place. And this is
Uh-huh.
not an ad, but just because every time I've gone there, I've had a good time. It's a good vibe. It's kind of speakeasy
Yep.
slash club. So, like, that's kind of my answer for best kept secret for somebody visiting, I would
And
say.
I agree with you on that one. I hosted my husband's birthday pre-pandemic there in the karaoke room.
Awesome.
They have the speakeasy karaoke rooms and they are so much fun. So I'm on board with that one. Um, so maybe something that I mean, there's so many things. Keeping on the karaoke trend, I just went to Camu Karaoke. Have you done that?
I have not, but I've heard it's
Oh,
amazing.
okay. So I'm not a huge club person, so this is more down my like what I like to do. But we went last weekend. There was about 10 of us, and we only originally had the room for like a couple of hours. We ended up walking out 4 hours later at 1 o'clock in the morning because we couldn't stop singing. Like, it was so much fun. I haven't had that much fun I in so long. Like, it was crazy. It was so much fun. Like, you're in your own private room, so like not everybody's hearing you sing. You're with your friends. They have alcohol. They have food. I mean, it was it was so fun.
That
Uh,
see that's the kind of thing that you just need to ask somebody like Bree who does this for a living, because all the time, Bree, oh my gosh, now you do it for a living, so this is good for you. But you
mhm.
know your other local friends, people you grew up with, people hit me up all the time. Hey Jeff, I'm in Vegas. What's good this weekend? And I'm like, literally don't know. My dog and my couch. That's what's good to me, because we're not like yes,
Yeah.
this is your business, and yes, you could say, hey, go look at my packages, go. But like in general, us locals are not like doing this every weekend.
100%. Unfortunately, I do it a lot. Unfortunately, I do a lot because I feel like I have to know what's going on all the time. Like, next, I'm going out this Saturday. It'll be on my Instagram. I don't know if I should. Oh, this will be posting later. I'm like, I don't know if I want to tell people where I'm going to be at. My husband's always like, do not post live, someone's going to kill you. And I'm like, settle down. Um, but no, I'm going to Resorts World with my girlfriends because they have those igloos, and I want to check them out before they close for this season. And I think they'll still be up around Valentine's Day. So anyway, they look really cool. So we're gonna go get dinner first. I haven't been to the Mexican restaurant and I want to try it out. And then we're gonna go there. So it's like I'm doing that. Then on Monday, I'm gonna go see Michael Jackson 1 because I haven't seen that in years. And like we sell it on our website. Like the new S bar just opened over at Mandalay Bay. Like I need to check that out. Like, it's just like it never ends because something new is always opening or changing or something.
It's
It's like
absolutely
nonstop.
true. You live in a great city to be able to, corner this market. Bree, honestly, I can't thank you enough for joining us. I could go on for an hour with you, but I want people to explore your channel. I want people to explore your world. And if you're interested in coming to Vegas, Vegas Girls Night Out, vegasgirlsnightout.com as well. You can check her out and book through her. And I just, it's so cool to see somebody like yourself, so sweet, but such a hard worker, and making something like this happen for yourself with this business. I mean, you're just crushing it. So awesome job. And thanks for joining the podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This was a lot of fun and it was pretty easy.
Oh, good. I'm glad I didn't hit you with any hard hitting questions
Yeah,
here.
nothing too hard. Thank
Didn't
you.
didn't want to. Who'd you vote for? No, I'm just
I
kidding.
know,
All
right?
right,
You
Bree.
can ask my political preference.
Bree Steck, everybody. Bree, thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.